So this is our current score now. Our current score is now listening 9, reading 8.5. So look at the writing now, 0.5 increase, so that's not 0.5, speaking 0.5. Very good. The overall score unchanged. Very, very good. Super amazing. So welcome once again. What we're doing today is actually I'm celebrating. Yes, I am celebrating. Okay, what I'm doing today is a celebration. All right, I'm really excited. I will call her a special guest. It's what it now, right? All right, so I'm hosting Lily today. She just crushed her IELTS exam, and to be honest, her results are super impressive. Yes, she got band 9 in listening, something I could not do. All right, and she got 8.5 in reading, which is also fantastic, and she got band 7 in writing and band 7 in speaking, which are also super awesome. Now these are results that people are dreaming of. All right, I know people who've taken the exam 6 times, 7 times, 8 times just to get this kind of results. Mm-hmm. And so today she's going to share exactly how she did it, okay? And also the experiences she had in the exam, or how the real exam felt like, and how this our program, of course, the Mandatory Challenge, helped her to get there. Okay, so let's just get into it. Let me bring up Lily. Can you introduce yourself? Okay, just briefly introduce yourself and share with us why you needed to take the IELTS exam, okay?
All right, my name is Lillian Owusu, and the reason why I wanted to write the IELTS exam was because I wanted to enter the Canadian Express School, and it was a requirement to have a language test. And I didn't know French, so the obvious option was English. So that is why I had to take the IELTS test. And my husband signed me up for the class. Can you hear me?
All right. Okay. So, how was it like before joining the Mandatory Challenge? Like, what were your biggest challenge concerning IELTS, or biggest fears concerning the IELTS exam?
So I was pretty nervous regarding the listening and the reading and the writing because the last time I wrote an essay was in my secondary school. I can't remember how it felt like to write an essay. So I was not confident about taking the exam at all. But I told my husband that English we'll go do a small. So and he said, okay, no problem. He knew about this tutorial this training for IELTS English test, and he heard about it. So he was going to sign me up for September class. And I said, okay, no problem. At least I'll build on the existing foundation, however little it is, and I could work something. So that's how I felt before you really started for the training in class.
Oh, that's nice. So, actually, your husband is pioneer of you joining the program and getting you on board.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. But regarding the IELTS exam itself, like, what were your challenge? Did you have any fear, any challenge towards this? Was this your first? Is this your first attempt, or maybe wait? Just expatiate on that area.
So this is my first time writing the IELTS exam. I've not taken it before. I've not taken any international exam before, so I was not sure how it was going to be like. I did it because I knew it was going to be different from normal Nigerian school exam. The English in my school and the English in another person's country, they're not actually the same. Seeing that they are the pioneers of our English language here in Nigeria, I was not confident at all, especially about the writing. I think when it comes to reading and listening, I've been engaging with people in English, I've been speaking with people. My work is predominantly, you speak English more. So I was not, as much as I was not sure about this reading and the writing, this listening, but writing was really hard. I can't remember the last time I wrote a letter or the last time I, used my head to write an essay. Everybody uses ChatGPT these days, so you just go to ChatGPT and tell you, I want to write a letter, so draft it for me. So it was a challenge actually. I didn't even know how I was going to do it. So I told my husband that, and that is why he had to sign me up for the class.
Okay, that's interesting. No? That's interesting. Actually, writing was still a big problem for me too. Like you said, we all speak English every day, okay? But you see that writing of it is something we rarely do. Listening, we hear English every day, but that writing, I understand. And I'm sure some of us here shared this experience as well. So another question I have for you is this. What made you, okay, you already said your husband, so your husband was a huge influence in joining the program. So you didn't have to really decide that as well. Okay, so let's just move on to the fourth question I have for you. And by the way, if you're here listening, okay, I dropped a message below in this channel. All right, you can just drop your questions there. I'll be looking at any question you have for her regarding the exam. All right, you can drop it drop it in the comments in the channel, yeah, so that I'll go to it once I'm done asking the questions I have, because I know many of you have questions for her. Okay, so the next question I have for you is that your score is really fantastic, to be honest. Like bar 9 in listening. That means is it academics or general training? Which one did you take? Academics or general? Okay, which one did you take? Academics or general training?
I think general training. General
Okay,
training.
general training. So that means that you had to the least you could get to get that band 9 was 39. You only that's even I said the least though. Chances are very that you got everything right, or you just failed only one. That's super amazing. So in the exam, did anything shock you at all? Like, did anything surprise you in the exam? And if anything surprised you in the exam, why?
Well, I won't say I was shocked because I followed the training. I watched the videos they left on the group because I didn't really follow during the September. I had to take a break from work and I focused within 2 weeks, 2 weeks before my exam. I had to sit down and I stayed at home all throughout the 2 weeks. I was going through the videos. I was taking the assignments they gave, the classwork, and I also used the links they dropped for the test. So I was pretty familiar with the exam space. So I was not really surprised when I got there. I think I finished on time. I was going with the recording and I was answering my questions. So I think what really surprised me was the matching headings. I was not really confident about it. Well, I remembered a lot of what you said about the matching headings and how we shouldn't waste so much time on one particular question. We should go with the first one. As soon as we listen to the end, we should go with the one we feel like is the most correct. And that was the instruction I followed all through. I didn't really hesitate on any of the answers. And even the reading as well. The reading came as a surprise because all I was just doing was, I think it was the reading of the matching headings. The listening was filling the gap a lot. I came across that a lot.
Mm,
So I was familiar with the
mm.
test space. So I didn't have any surprises regarding that. I took the online exams a lot before the exam day. So I think I was pretty prepared for that part. The
Okay,
one that hit me
okay, that's so. You've spoken about the reading and the listening. What about writing and speaking? Any surprise on exam day regarding these two sections?
No, I think I was not surprised about that. The first test in the writing was writing a formal letter to my boss in the office,
Hmm?
and the test two was writing an essay. It was an opinion essay. So I already went through the video. I outlined my ideas and everything. The issue I had was, the grammatical arrangement and ensuring that the story flowed. Because I
Hmm.
just kept on deleting, typing to ensure that everything was coherent. So I didn't finish going through my tests before my time was up because I spent so much time in the first one that I only had about 34 minutes to start writing on the test too. So I think that was not enough time for me to go through the essays to the end, and I think that will lower my score a bit.
I see, I see, I see. All right, that's good. So that means the CBT experience, the links I sent you to practice to check out how it works, all of that really gave you good familiarity with the software that will be used on exam day, and so you didn't really have any surprises on how to use the platform, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's very good. That's very good. That's good. That's good. And I hope people took note of what she just said. Because that's one thing. I don't just highlight it. Being decisive is very crucial in your listening. Being decisive. Being decisive is really, really crucial. Even in your reading as well. Being decisive is very crucial. Because on exam day, you'll be surprised at how, okay, let me see. It's not you'll be surprised. Some people don't know that when we're under pressure, our alertness increases. Pressure makes some people cave. But that's if you don't really believe in yourself, if you don't believe that you can do well under pressure, it's belief. It's belief. The decision you'll be making will be fast, will be swift. You have to be decisive, and being decisive, chances are very high that you'll be getting the correct answers when you're using the right strategy. Of course, when you're using the right strategy. Okay, so now let's talk about strategy. Okay, let's talk about strategy. I'm even encroaching into the next question. What techniques from the Banijay Challenge helped you most in listening and reading? Because that listening and reading, you had really, really excellent scores. Like there's almost nothing better than what you got in listening and reading. All right. So what are the techniques? Just briefly, what are the techniques that you can start with the listening and then go to the reading? What are the things you did on exam day that you think really influenced you getting a band 9 in listening and getting a band 8.5 in reading?
I think the most important thing was I didn't allow myself get distracted. I told myself before entering the hall that okay, I'm listening to somebody. I don't know what they're going to talk about, but I need to be clear in my head. I don't need to be thinking about any other thing while the exam is going on. So when the recording started, I was fully focused. I was following each word, and I ensured that I grasped it. And even before the exam, I was watching videos sometimes to ensure that I really understand what I was listening to before the exam. I put videos I watched in 1.5 speed. So it's so fast. That way I'm able to follow. And then if I don't understand, then I can go to 1.2. But I know I barely create videos at the speed, one speed. I increase it. That way, as it's fast, I'm able to follow it. But in the exam, it was pretty slow. So I was already used to fast speed. So it being very slow was easier for me to really hear what they were saying. And that was how I was able to, get the answers clearly and understand. And especially the comprehension part, I didn't, because there were a lot of misleading words, and if you're not paying attention, you would think what you heard in the beginning was the right answer. Meanwhile, it wasn't. So that comprehension as well, I took note of that. So when the recordings were playing, I ensured that for each line, after reading the questions, I had to read the questions first before the recording started. And after reading the questions, when the recording starts, I already know what to look for when the recording was playing. And the fact that it was very slow allowed me to pick it up really fast. And as I was listening to it, I was typing my answers. And the moment the recording ended, I was already done with the question. I didn't even go through it again. I just went to the next set of questions and started going through that one and preparing myself for the recording that will play.
Nice. Now, what about the reading?
For reading, I was also surprised I got an 8.5 to be honest. My goal for reading was a 9. Reason being, I finished my reading with 20 minutes to spare. I answered all the questions.
Hold on. Wait. You finished with 20 minutes to spare in reading?
Yes, I did.
Wait. No. Wait, hold on. Wait. I have to calm down. Out of the 60 minutes you are giving, which is 1 hour. So are you to wait, hold on, wait. I've not heard this one before. I've not heard this one before. You had 20 minutes left, and you had finished everything at that point.
Yes, I have.
How did you do it? I really want to know.
Okay. I was also surprised when I checked the time because I told myself not to look at the time because looking at the time would slow me down and would distract me. So when I started the reading, I just went through it, and most of them were saying complete the statement and matching sentences. Yeah, I think the matching heading. So those are what I came across mostly during the test. And also when I read the graph, pick the one most fitting to each paragraph and each sentence. So I read through it and I came across a lot of challenging ones. So I even bookmarked a lot of them to go over later. So when I finished with everything, I handled those ones. And by the time I went through it over and over again, I think I went through it like 2 or 3 times. And then I checked my time. I had 20 minutes to spare. And I didn't know what to do with 20 minutes because you cannot submit until the time is up. So I just sat down
Yes,
there
that's true.
and kept going through it. I just kept going through it.
Mm.
And I think at one point I just closed my eyes to rest.
Wow, 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 wow. This is amazing. This is amazing. Wow. Ah, nice, nice, nice. Those of us who are in probably you are in let's say if you're in this November's class, probably you are in next month is October's class. Did you notice what she just mentioned that she left the difficult ones? See for the reading now. There's something I always tell you in class. She left the difficult ones first, did the easiest ones. She left the difficult ones, did the easiest ones first. That was she bookmarked. And then when she was done with those ones, she came back and they started working on those other. Remember when I tell you how to manage your time? It's something I always tell you. And that's what she did. But this is really good. This is really good. This is nice. I like this. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Implementation is the most important thing. All right. Following strategy. It's really essential. It's really essential. And I know I won't take credit for this. I'm going to give you credit because I didn't mention this in the class, but you said you did it, which is really good. You mentioned that you started playing videos, any video, any audio you're listening to, you play it at 1.5. So so you have to make your practice a lot more difficult. You have to make your practice a lot more difficult, such that listening to the audio, the regular speed becomes slow. That's really interesting. That's a good one. Something I will even adopt. It's something I will adopt when I'm this first coming in my class. I would tell the students to do that. That's very nice because when your practice is very difficult, do you understand what she's talking about? Do you understand what she's talking about? Nobody's even dropping any comments or saying anything. All right. She made you're watching videos, if you're watching it on YouTube, you can increase the speed or reduce the speed. I'm using YouTube now. Even any device, any platform. So you made it 1.5. If you don't know how to do it, just check online how to increase the speed of YouTube or any stuff. So she did that. That's very good. That's very good. So because if you're already, it's like somebody who is carrying the test or the task you want to do is to carry 10 kg, 5 kg here, 5 kg here, and in your practice you're already carrying 10 kg in one hand, which 20 kg. So the moment you say you carry 5 kg each, the job is very easy for you. That's very good. That's really good. Okay, so my next question. A lot of people they struggle to get a band 7 in writing. I know somebody who have taken the exam like 4 times before she could get band 7. And you even telling me that the time you had for tax 2 was not sufficient for you, yet you got a band 7. All right. So what do you think can help them break that barrier? These people are struggling with writing, struggling to get a band 7 writing. What do you think can help them break the barrier?
So I would say the thing I struggled with now, I feel if I had been better prepared, I would have been able to get a higher score
Mm,
was to get my story in line. I didn't have like a proper flow for the story when I went into the exam. So when I came across it, and I first of all had to write down everything on a piece of paper, which took me a much longer time. So if I had like a storyline
mm,
quickly, then just transferring it, I just needed to lift it up from the piece of paper they gave me in the exam to the screen. So I didn't have that. I struggled, and in the midst of typing and getting my story to be coherent and to flow, I wasted a lot of time, and that was why I was erasing and typing again, erasing and typing again. So that took my time. So if whenever people are going to the exam, I think the advice I would give would be, try as much as possible when you see the question to quickly come up with a story because your writing doesn't necessarily need to be your life story. It just needs to be a story that flows. So if you can have that, your writing will be faster and you'll make less mistakes and you're going to get a higher score for that.
okay. Okay. Did you have to cram any vocabulary? Did you have to use idioms? People just say that you need idiom. I was in a group today because I used to join some of those highest groups. Like, let me see what the people are doing, and they had a list of I vocabulary words. Had a list of idioms for several questions. Did you have to do any of that at all to hit your 7 that you need in your writing? Did you have to use them
No,
in
I
your
didn't
exam?
think I needed to do that. No. What
Uh-huh.
I
So this
what
just
I did
go on. I'm listening.
what I did was to get synonyms of some words. That way, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be repeating one particular word all the time. So I went and I got a list of, I think, about 50 words that were commonly used in IELTS, like the education, government, people,
Mm-hmm.
visitors, and stuff. And it really helped me because when I was in my exam, what I was talking about was teenagers. So I got that. I already had that synonym for teenagers. So I used adolescents, I used young children, and I also used teenagers. So I was going between the three words. So it was not really repetitive for just children or for teenagers. And getting those synonyms of easier words, I mean, easier things, not necessarily high vocabulary words, was what I think people need more as compared to, idioms and phrases and stuff.
Nice, nice. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Thank you. Now to the next question I have for you is, can you recall a moment during the exam where you felt like you were fully prepared or very confident? Like when you prepared for the exam, at what point did you feel confident at any point? If yes, at what point did you start feeling confident and you feel like, okay, I'm fully set for the exam now?
I think that was after I took the online test a few times. I think I took it about the third time I took it. I already knew that I had like a 70% chance of, I already knew my reading, my listening and reading was covered. So that was like I said
Mm,
earlier that the fact I got a band 8.5, I was supposed to get like a band 9. Because even when I left the test for, I
okay.
told the supervisor, my score was supposed to be higher than that. So I knew that I
Mm,
covered those two bases. So the only thing I wasn't so sure about was the writing and the speaking. So those are the two things I
mm,
was not
mm.
confident about. But I knew that the least I was going to get was the band 7. So I was not shocked when I got it.
Nice, nice. So practice. So do you doing the CBT practice and seeing your scores there gave you confidence that okay, you think you're in a good position now for this exam. Very good, very good, very good. Thank you, thank you. So if someone is taking the uh okay, let me ask this one first. How different were before you joined the Vanity Days Challenge and after going through, because you mentioned that you weren't able to follow up during the challenge, so you had to take 2 weeks break and you dedicate 2 weeks to the training because we always have access to the materials and the replay of the live classes even after challenge each other. So you went through all of them within 2 weeks and then you went to take the exam. So before joining the Vanity Days Challenge, all right, and going to the training, what's the difference between your skills level, your confidence, like before you join and after you've gone through the training? What would you say were the differences between your skills and your confidence?
So I would say before joining the challenge, I had like a 45% confidence that I was going to do well because I already had like a good measure, a good grasp of English. But I think after joining the challenge, I knew how to strategically, position myself and to answer those questions there. So it gave me like a boost. So going to the exam hall on that day, I had like an 85 to 90% confidence that I was going to do really well when the results come out.
Mm. So, in other words, are you saying that you were not really, okay, every day you speak English every day, you of course an English exam as well, but the challenge gave you a good idea of what you are expecting on exam day, and that gave you good confidence towards the exam. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, yes.
All right, good, good, good. Okay, so if someone is taking the IELTS exam very soon, okay, so what are the top three advice you would give them? All right, I want you can take a bit of time to think about this, okay? Someone is taking the exam, let's say next week, 2 weeks time, in a month's time. All right. From your experience, you just took the exam, like you have the current experience of the exam. All right. So what are your top 3 advice you would give somebody who is about to take the exam?
So the first one I will give you will be you've watched enough of the videos, you've watched a lot, you've heard a lot of things, a lot of advice. My first advice would be to practice. Go online, take the test as many times as you can on the IDP page, the British Council. Take as many tests as you can. Test your knowledge. That will give you a good grasp of where you need to improve and where you need to work on. Because the more you practice, the more you familiarize yourself with it. On that day, you will not be surprised. You will not be shocked at what is coming up because you're already strong in that aspect. You've listened to a lot of the videos, you've listened a lot of the recordings, you've watched, you've gotten all the strategies. Put it in practice. That way, on that day, it's easier as compared to you trying to organize that knowledge again inside the exam hall. And the second advice I'll give will be to rest. You're taking the exam does not mean you should stress yourself. So you don't end up being so nervous on that day that you forget all that you prepared for. So the day before the exam, my husband and I went to sleep early. I didn't stay awake late as compared to what I usually do. I rested a lot, and when I woke up that morning, my advice would be eat if you can, so you don't end up being hungry in the exam hall. Because I saw a lot of people that the moment they leave the exam hall, they're rushing to eat. So eat, take a lot of water, and I think you are permitted to take bottled water as long as there's no label. So take it. So when you practice, you rest, and please be prepared on that morning. Don't allow anything like distract you. If you're out, you know that you left your curtain open. You usually leave your curtain in your house open or your windows open. Close it so you don't have to think about any other thing worrying in the house. And that helped me a lot because I had someone taking care of my children. I knew they were in safe hands, so I left with confidence to the exam hall, knowing that nothing was going to distract me in that day, and I'm just going to focus on this exam and smash it.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you. So you go ahead, oh, don't study till the next day morning. Don't. It's not healthy. Because once you are not well rested, it will affect your mind and your composure. That's very true. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. That's very true. All right. This is my last question before I open the floor for others to ask. So would you recommend the Banate challenge to anybody who wants to take the exam very soon? And if yes, all right, if yes, what would you tell them about the challenge?
So I've already recommended the Band-Aid challenge to my elder sister, so she plans on taking the exam. So I know that it's very easy for her to understand. I mean, when I started watching the videos, it was very, very easy for me to understand it. So there's enough. Most of the videos, I just needed to watch it once and then I understood it. And the reason why I watched it over and over again was to familiarize myself with that knowledge so I don't end up, confusing myself or doubting the knowledge I have. That was why I watched again. You broke down each and every step we needed to take, and I think still had that knowledge. The videos I watched the week before my exam, I could still remember some of the things you were saying while in the exam hall when I was doing the writing. So that is more of the reason you didn't take it from a high level point. You took it from a low level, so people are able to understand. Those that don't have a good grasp of English are able to, become familiar with that strategy and to know that yes, it's not hard. You just need to be prepared. You just need to have the right strategy to go about the exam. Whether you know English or you don't know English, it's possible for you to, get a very good score in the IELTS exam. So yes, I highly recommend it. And I have already told my sister, and probably by next year she's going to, join the challenge.
All right, thank you very much. My piece of advice for my students who are watching this is practicing the strategy. All right. There's a gap between joining a program and getting results. That gap in between is going through the training and practicing the strategy. And that's what she said here. She went to the videos. She went to the replay of her classes. Then she followed the links, went online to the British Council and the IDP links I gave you. All right. And practice the questions using the strategy you've been taught. Always remember this, okay? We don't just practice questions. What do? We practice strategy. And if you're not my student, you're contemplating joining the Banitary Challenge. Registration is still on. but it will be ending next week. We're starting on the 2nd. I'll drop my WhatsApp number here and the link to join the challenge, so you can click on it and then join. Okay, so thank you so much, Lily, for your time today. We'll end it here. It's 5 o'clock already. All right. So once again, thank you, Lily, for sharing this with us. We appreciate the presence here. Okay. So call it a wrap here. You all have a lovely evening. Bye, and God bless you.